All right, hey, what's up, everybody? This is my update for the end of week 1, cycle 3. If you watched my last video, you know that I had an allergic reaction on my first dosing of this cycle. I've never had allergic reactions in my life. So I'm going to talk about how the rest of this week went. It did not go well. If you haven't already, you're probably watching this video because you've watched my other previous videos and you already subscribed because you're wanting to see how this process goes for me, a regular dude that doesn't have any peptides to sell you. Or you're somebody that stumbled upon these videos because you're interested in peptides or you're doing peptides. I'm just some random guy that saw people promoting this stuff on TikTok, the ipamorelin and the CJC 1295 specifically, but they were also selling it in most cases. And I thought, I'll just be a regular guy that has nothing to sell you and take these and document it and see maybe if it helps you guys decide if it's worth doing for you, hoping that maybe it helps me out in the process, obviously, or first and foremost. So hit subscribe if you haven't. Go back and watch. I've been doing this now. I'm beyond 6 months. I started in March this year. So go watch. I got a bunch of other videos, weekly updates, dosing, etc. So I had my allergic reaction. Go watch that video if you haven't. So what I decided to do was the next day, I bumped my dosing down to half. So I went to 5 units and I switched sides. I went to my left side. Usually I'm on the right side. Completely fine. I was nervous, but it was completely fine. The next day I came back and I did like a 7 or an 8 unit on my left side again, completely fine. And then the third day I did the full 10 units, completely fine, all on my left side. Feeling pretty confident at this point. So then last night I did the full 10 and I went back to my right side, which the right side for me since the beginning of this process has been my predominant side. In fact, all of cycle 1 was my right side. I didn't start introducing the left until cycle 2. But as soon as that needle went in and I pushed that stuff in, I'm telling you, within 5 seconds, my body changed almost instantly. From the knees down, intense itching. Before, I don't even know if I had the needle out at that point. My knees down all the way to my feet started itching profusely, like bad itching. I felt I got flushed. I felt my blood pressure do something, either up or down, where all of a sudden I was just like, whoa, like this is, oh my gosh. I felt red. I felt hot. I took my shirt off almost immediately. I took a quick drink and I almost immediately started shaking. I don't know if it was because of the panic or if it was something from that. Within probably 30 minutes, the hives or the welts, I don't know, similar to what I had earlier in the week, developed again on that same side. And this whole thing lasted for about an hour and a half. Once it hit its peak, that was probably an hour's worth of itching. My hands did itch, not as much as my feet and legs did, and the rest of my body just barely itched. But obviously my heart's going kind of fast at this point, which is something that I had experienced in cycle 1, but it wasn't scary to me. I felt like it was part of the process. This was a different type of elevated racing. Again, it could have been just my panic setting in because I'll be honest, I was getting to the point where I was trying to figure out, do I need to prepare to go to the ER? Because it wasn't that bad at that point, but I couldn't tell if it was going to get that bad. I didn't want to wait that long. So I was kind of walking a fine line. By the time that it started to subside, or I felt like it was subsiding, I went to sleep. I woke up today and I'm fine. Same as the first reaction. I'm fine. Like, I feel good. In fact, like I woke up, feeling actually pretty good. So I'm going to be honest. I don't know what to do at this point. I did reach out to my doctor, told her what was going on, and she said there's a possible dosing dependency issue where maybe the dosing needs to be adjusted down because my body's it's obviously upset with something. I also noticed one more thing. I felt like in my neck, and I'm thinking maybe thyroid, and I'll get to that in a second. I felt like something was happening here. It didn't swell. I didn't have problems swallowing. It just felt like something was going on, maybe a heaviness to it or something. And trust me, I was checking all. I was like, is it swelling up? Am I going to go to the doctor or the ER? But it felt like something. Today I feel totally fine. But I'm going to be honest, I committed to 3 cycles of this. I can't do that much longer because it was a lot. So what I'm going to do is beginning of next week, I'm going to bump back down to 5. I'm going to go back to my left side. The doctor said no idea why left versus right would make a difference. It's a small sample size, so maybe it didn't, but I'm going to go back to what worked better. I'm going to go back to my left side, and I'll update this next week how things go. But I mean, I can't, it's just too much to go through all of that, especially because I've not really been having any positive side effects as far as what I was really kind of hoping I was going to get out of this process anyways. I'm just kind of persevering through it because I had committed to it, but it's not worth it for that if that continues. So hopefully dosing down a little bit. We'll try that again next week. A couple of things I do want to mention. I talked about the thyroid a second ago. One thing that has changed in this cycle that I did not have during the previous cycles was that I am back on my thyroid meds because I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism in 2019. And so this is the first time that I am fully on my thyroid medicine while doing the peptides. And so obviously there's a lot of hormone stuff going on there. I'm injecting hormone stuff, and so because I felt that here, very well could be connected, but too small of a sample size to know quite yet. The other thing I'll mention too, I think benefits that I've been feeling lately, again, not sure if they're peptide related, is libido has been off the charts. And I would say this has probably been going on for now a month and a half, 2 months, elevated beyond what I would normally feel. And it's all day. Like usually even mornings, I'm just not interested in it at all. I just want to sleep. There's all day for that stuff. And I'm feeling stuff basically as soon as I wake up now. And without too much information, blood flow has been kind of back to what I'd like it to be in the mornings. And you can figure out kind of what I mean from that. So, and it hasn't been like that for many years. So that's been nice. Also, I'm less sore this week in my hip regions than usual. I've been lifting so heavy at the gym. If you watch some of my other videos, I've been hitting some really nice PR, some heavy weights, heavier for me. But it's caused my hips to have some problems as far as even getting in and out of the car. And there's something about this past week, once I kicked back into cycle 3, may or may not be related, but man, I just feel like I'm getting in and out of it sounds very old. I just realized how old guy this sounds. I'm getting in and out of the car like a normal person would. I drive a Corvette. It's very low to the ground. Also saying I drive a Corvette is also very old guy sounding. I realize that as well. It's a midlife crisis car. I told my kids whenever they started calling it that, I said, my whole life's been a crisis. I got a better car now for it. But I feel like my body is less sore. I was really sore for a lot of cycle 2. Cycle 1, I felt really good almost until the end and I started to get kind of tired. Cycle 2, I hurt the entire time. Cycle 3, the first week, despite these weird things happening, I'm feeling good. So I'm really hoping that I had such high hopes for cycle 3. I'm hoping that I can get around this, whatever reaction is happening next week, and be able to see this through the end of cycle 3 and then figure it. But my hopes have been squashed, and now I'm just like, I'm going to try to get through this next week. So again, appreciate all you guys watching, the comments, the insights, all sorts of stuff, the participation with all of these videos. We'll see you in about another week. Wish me luck. We'll see you then.